Let's get a little more analysis on this. Ahmed Bedier joins me on set. He is the president of the United Voices for America, which is a Washington, D.C.-based civic engagement organization. Many thanks for speaking to us, Ahmed.
Thank you.
Why do you think the U.S. president is taking such a hardline stance on Turkey? Because at the end of the day, the two countries are NATO allies.
Yes, they are NATO allies, but this is not your typical American president. Donald Trump is unique in that he's doing things non-traditional ways. He's going directly to Twitter, and he sees himself as a businessman, that he's running America as a corporation, regardless of these past diplomatic relations, past alliances, and he's trying to push America's economy, and he sees this as another way to bully people that don't want to do what he wants them to do. And in this situation, I think really what the deeper question that no one is talking about is that the United States is angry that Turkey is turning to Russia to purchase an air defense system, the S-400, instead of buying from the United States. The United States is selling it for twice as much, and they're refusing to transfer the technology over, something that Turkey said is a requirement. So they went to the Russians. Now they want to buy from the Russians. The United States ever since has been using all types of tactics to pressure Turkey not to go through with this purchase. So
you think this is less about the pasta that the U.S. keeps saying that it wants returned back to the U.S.?
The Pastor Brunson, that's just a guise for other things. There are Americans that are imprisoned all over the world. The United States is not putting sanctions. They're, in the Gulf, they're in Egypt, they're scattered all over the world. They've never done this. But they're using this as an excuse to go after Turkey, to punish it for other things, basically for their foreign policy. Again, because this is a NATO ally, and they're going to the Russians to purchase their weapon system, and in a way kind of extorting them for billions of dollars. Not to add to that, the efforts of what's happened with the Halk Bank, and again, which is basically a government bank in Turkey, and threatening to seize Turkish assets in the United States. Again, it's a way that this administration is going after, even if they're allies, to extort them for billions of dollars. I'm an American citizen. I disagree with what the Trump administration is doing in the name of America, and it's definitely unprecedented.
Turkey's government, on the one hand, is framing this country's economic woes on external forces like this U.S. spat. But Turkey's lira has actually been falling for a long time, 40% against the dollar since the start of the year. You spend a lot of time in Turkey. You are American, but you do spend a lot of time here in Turkey. How do people here view the country's economic problems? And do you think they have faith that the government can turn things around?
I think, this is really a manufactured crisis. I mean, Turkey today is the same as Turkey was a year ago when the lira was, at 3-something. What really has changed is speculation of the markets. People are worried. People are panicking. People are freaking out because of a tweet that was said today. It caused the lira to drop so much because of what Trump said. And Trump understands the power that he has over this, because what he says could eventually turn into policy. Now, in the long term, these cautionist, isolationist type economic policies will actually hurt America in the long run, because when you impose tariffs on countries like Turkey and China and others, that will drive up the prices of goods in America. It will make it harder for Americans to purchase the products that they normally are able to buy, which will slow down the American economy, which will translate into higher unemployment. So in the long term, it's actually going to hurt the United States. In the short term, though, but they're about short-sightedness. So I think some people in Turkey are a little worried about the crisis. There's a lot of people that are on the internet and with all the memes. But I think at the same time, politically, it's bringing actually the opposition and the government together. It's actually unifying the people and saying, you know what, we're going to stand up to these external forces.
At the end of the day, we do have inflation in Turkey at nearly 16%. So in terms of people's pockets, they're feeling it. What can Turkey do about this?
I think, in the short term, it's going to hurt. But in the long term, it's probably going to be better for Turkey. Again, we have a midterm election that's coming, and our president in the United States is in a lot of trouble. He's under investigation by these different agencies. His people that are closest around him are are on trial. And he's using these things as a distraction to distract from things that are happening at home. And there's also a midterm election that's coming where his party may lose power in Congress. if the Turkish people can withstand the pressure until then, I think you'll have a different outlook come November.
Ahmed Bedier, really good to speak to you. Thank you.
Thanks.